Lodge. How you guys doing tonight? Early night, I guess. This is a great show. I've done this show once before. I love the Keep Coming Back show. I did it a little while ago, the first time I did it actually. Laura, she's the producer of the show, and we were messaging back and forth a little bit. And I was telling her, I'm sober, I've got some material. And she said, how much time can you do? And I said, 4 years. 4 years sober, Laura. She goes, that's great. I meant, how much time can you do on stage? I'm like, oh, okay, 12 minutes. Let's go with that. Got our wires crossed a little bit, though. But thank you guys for coming out to support stand-up comedy. Let's give it up for ourselves, right? We're doing it. We're doing comedy. My friends and family, they know I do stand-up at this point, which can be like a good and bad thing, I think. And they say to me all the time, I hear a lot of the same things. They're like, Dan, you must really love it. You must really love doing stand-up. And I don't know, I think it's a bit more complicated than that for me. It's kind of like therapy, like, do I look forward to it? Not really. But the most important thing is, does it make me feel better about myself? Also, not really. I'm just kidding. I love it. I love comedy. I don't drink anymore. I'm sober, I should say. It's very important that you clarify that when you tell people. Because I'm very self-conscious that people will think I'm boring or whatever, and I have very low self-esteem. So when I say I don't drink, I remember to say, like, hey, I gotta clarify, I'm sober. I'm an addict, not a loser, okay? All right? Plenty of years of drinking and drugs under my belt, all right? I was so good at it, literally so good that everyone around me said I needed to stop. Very, very exciting stuff. So, like, when you're sober, it's very interesting. Like, your social media kind of like feeds you stuff, like based on sobriety. And I don't know if you guys are familiar. We're coming up on a big month for sober challenges, Sober October. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but a lot of those videos come across my feed, and I think they're fucking hilarious, by the way. Because it's like these washed up frat dudes being all dramatic about how they've been sober for 10 days. And I just love watching them. Like, there was one close friend of mine, like, looked like he was like holed up in a Blair Witch Project video, like filming himself on Instagram. He's like, hey guys, it's Preston. Day 13 we're working on here. Last night was tough. Like, all my buddies were out pre-gaming over at Gooch's. I saw him getting bottle service over at Tao, but I'm hanging in there, I'm hanging strong. I'm like, dude, Preston, pump the brakes, buddy. You've been sober for like one pay period, okay? We chill on the fucking drama just a little bit. But yeah, for me, 6 years sober. Thank you, yeah. I would say don't clap, but please, like, more. I fucking deserve it, right? Getting sober in this city, like I'm sure you guys are aware, fucking nightmare. Like, city has a significant drinking problem. There's no need to pregame for breakfast and grocery shopping, okay? It's just not necessary. It's not necessary. But it was hard. I was in rehab for a little while. I did 6 months of sober living. I've been through hundreds of hours of therapy, medications, the whole thing. But like, Preston's got 2 more weeks left without the boys, so save your applause for the real heroes out there, okay? That fucking guy. Oh, man. So yeah, 6 years, no drugs, no booze. Booze was my main thing. I will say alcohol was my main thing. And that's just because cocaine's very expensive. I fucking love cocaine. Let's get that out of the way right away. But I did not have any money. I was super, super fucking poor and in debt. Some of my drinking, like, I got a little story about it. I don't know if you guys watched the John Mulaney special on his recovery about how he was like selling his Rolex to get cocaine. Like, I found this loophole with Venmo. Like, when I had no money in my checking account, I could like Venmo a friend and then say like, oops, did that by mistake, and they send it back, and I could transfer it immediately into my checking account, and it would be there for that day, and then I'd overdraft the next day. But it took care of my booze for that day, and it was a very exciting loophole that I found. And unfortunately, some of my friends are in the audience who I did that to tonight, so I'm sorry. If you're finding out just now that was my little way of getting money into my account for that day, but victimless crime, except for me, really. Honestly. But yeah, so like cocaine could have been a bigger problem if I had money. Like, you can't exactly stroll down to CVS and buy the Svetka brand of cocaine, right? Like, it's just like, it's not accessible like that. Otherwise, we'd have been in a lot of trouble. Svetka and New Amsterdam, those are my two. Whatever was cheaper at the liquor store, that's what I was going for. Have you guys, like, I was watching TV this summer and saw that New Amsterdam had a commercial, and like there's like people on the beach like pouring like drinks of New Amsterdam. I'm like, that is not what New Amsterdam vodka is used for. No. It's a much darker crowd that's drinking that stuff. Trust me on that one. No beach parties. So like I did, when I was in rehab, like my parents, they came up, I spilled everything. They knew everything about the cocaine, the fucking booze, like everything, all my money problems. And I don't know if you guys like had parents growing up that got really upset about smoking cigarettes. Like that was their big thing. Like we were allowed to drink, kind of like puff on weed every once in a while, but if we got caught with cigarettes, we were in fucking deep shit. So I got out of rehab and I was walking my parents, cleaning out my apartment, which was like a shit show. I hadn't been in there since beginning rehab, and I wanted someone to come with me. And they're walking through there and like, we're going over piles of like fucking empty bottles of booze. There's fucking cocaine residue on like every surface. There might have been a couple bodies on the floor. I don't really know. Honestly, at this point. And like my mom walks in the kitchen and she sees a pack of fucking cigarettes in there and she's like, cigarettes, Danny. Yeah. I'm like, were you not, really? Did you not just hear all the shit I just talked about? Really? That's what you're hung up on there? It's fucking crazy, but yeah, she was super fucking pissed off about those parliaments. I don't know what to say. And it's funny too, being 6 years sober now, how like I treat my body differently than it was before. Like, I mean, I was unloading fucking bottles of vodka into my fucking body, just poison, fucking stuffing drugs up my nose, and now I'm like, can I take 3 ibuprofen at once? Is that okay? My liver's like, yes, it's fucking fine, dude. I've been through worse. But like, honestly, it's such a blessing. Like I have gratitude every day. Like I feel amazing. I don't think that there's anything in the world that could make me relapse, truthfully. Does anyone have a bag? Kidding. I'm kidding. I truthfully do not think there's anything that can relapse. But if a girl did approach me and ask me to go get dreams, I'd relapse in a fucking second. That's exactly what happened. I don't deal well with females flirting with me. If they're asking me to get drinks, I can't be like, I'm sober. I'm like, okay, let's go. Call rehab right now. I don't deal with being flirted with well. It always ends to bad things. I remember like when I was back in my drinking and drugging days, we were out at one of those stupid fucking bottle service sparkler clubs. I was fucking ecstasy, cocaine, fucking drunk as hell. And this girl came up to me, she started flirting with me, and I'm like, man, I must be looking good tonight. All right, let's see where this goes. Like after 40 minutes of talking to her, she's like, do you want to get out of here? I'm like, okay, all right, let's see what this leads to. So we're in the Uber on the ride home. Get about 5 minutes from my apartment. She goes, oh yeah, do you need to stop at the ATM? I'm like, all right, this checks out now. That's something was not adding up with the whole fucking night up to this point. And I'm like, all right, this definitely, yeah, let's go to the fucking ATM. I'm still gonna do it. Let's be perfectly honest about that. She was a hooker. Obviously, you guys I didn't make that clear with the story, but I did a lot of dumb shit. Like it was just like, I'm sure everyone can relate to that. Like there's this other time I was out at that. Has anybody been to Beaumont's? That late night bar? Yeah. 4 o'clock. Yeah, of course. I mean that's why I was at Beaumont's. It was open until 4 o'clock. Obviously I'd be there. So I'm in the bathroom there, and like I'm just sitting there like urinating, and some guy next to me, he's like, hey, do you want to do some blow? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do some blow. Obviously, what a dumb question that was. And the guy behind us in line was like, hey, hold on, you two, just a second here. He's like, first of all, don't be dealing drugs in the bathroom. He's like, I'm actually an undercover cop. I'm like, oh shit, this is it, right? He's like, you don't be dealing drugs in the bathroom. He's like, you just fucking take it from any stranger you run into. I'm like, I mean, it'd be hard to lie at this point. I was right in front of you, right? So apparently, yes, that is my thing, sir. Nothing happened to me. He took me, he took me out in the bar. He's like talking to me for a while. He's just like trying to give me like encouragement, like don't do that shit. That's really stupid. But there's a whole laundry list of stupid shit that I did, and nothing really happened to me because I'm white, so I'm white and nothing happened. I think that's what they're gonna write on my tombstone. Actually, it's just gonna be Dan Stremka, 1984 to whatever. He's white. Nothing happened. All right, guys, that's the end of my set, but I do want to say, really quickly, just on a very serious note, I wouldn't have started doing comedy if it weren't for sobriety. This is the first show I ever did in front of an audience was this show, and it means a ton to me that you guys came out, laughed, and listened, and my life's in just such a better place now. I got no jokes on top of that. That's the end of my set. Thank you very much.